Get my freaking cookbook. We have all the unit measurements, the comparisons, the grams, the cups, and so on. And so when you're making the recipes, I made it easier than last time. I've included everything. The calories in the foods, measurement units, made it easier than last time. Remember, I was a school teacher. I understand not everyone gets this as easy as everyone else. Made it very easy so that everyone could understand. Trust me, it's never too late to start being a better chef than last time.
Everyone else copied Greg. While we're here, let's do a quick re-ranking. Last time I did this, I looked at a few different cookbooks. You've probably heard, if you've been anywhere in the anabolic community or bodybuilding community or health and wellness community, it's likely that you've heard of Greg Doucette and how you should buy his friggin' cookbook. Several cookbooks since his came out have since come out, and just to name a few, you probably know all the big players, but we have Remington James, we have Will Tennyson, we have Nick. I bought Greg's Anabolic cookbook about 2 years ago or so, and I loved it. Learned all about the anabolic diet and started making his recipes and put a few up on my channel so people could see how they were supposed to look at the end, a deep dive into the process and the final product, basically. And I started making my own recipes shortly after that and got quite a few up there at one point. Many, okay, all are fantastic. So what I did was I copied Greg, like everyone else copied Greg. And I made my own cookbook with my own recipes, a Craving Crusher cookbook to be precise, and it would not have happened without the inspiration from Greg on how we can still enjoy the foods that we love by simply making better choices with the ingredients. Lots of cookbooks out there, as I'm sure you're all aware, and like I said, now I have one. And while we're here, let's do a quick re-ranking. Last time I did this, I looked at a few different cookbooks. One for Remington James, Greg's, Will Tennyson's, and Nick at Exercise for Cheat Meals. And at number 4, we have Exercise for Cheat Meals. Now, that doesn't mean his cookbook is terrible. It's actually awesome. Number 3, Remington James. In this spot, I have to go with Greg Doucette's Anabolic Cookbook 3.0 at number 2. Number 1 is Will Tennyson's cookbook. I gotta be honest, I've changed my mind since the last time I put Will at 1 and Nick at 4 and the other 2 in between. Based on what you all were telling me in the comments section of that video, I decided I needed to take a deeper dive, a different perspective. I looked at it from someone who is not as seasoned as myself, say a beginner just getting into health and fitness, and thought to myself, where should they start? I'm going to reshuffle my order based on those parameters, so to speak. I'm gonna end up putting Greg's at number 2 right out of the gate here. There's great recipes in that book, but there's no updates, and it's the most expensive, but still a great cookbook and simple recipes to make. Remington's book has a lot of repetitive recipes in its 350 plus pages. So although good for variation and it is updated with new recipes, still a solid cookbook, but I'm gonna drop it to number 4 for me. And in no particular final mentions here, we'll talk about Will's book. It is consistent, does have recipes that are spot on. It's very cost effective at its current price point and does have a decent amount of variety. Then we have Nick's Diet Cheat Codes book is extremely detailed, you could say, from techniques to kitchen equipment to the precision of the instructions and the nice pictures. Certainly brings a complete package. It is more expensive than Will's at its price point, but it's worth it, especially when you factor in what I mentioned before, the novice to health and fitness nutrition. So what I'm gonna do here on my reorder is I'm gonna push Nick's up to the top of the stacks at number 1, and I'm gonna drop Will's down to number 3. So that begs the question, I know you're asking yourself, where does that put my book? Well, I think it's on par with all of these books. Better than some in my opinion, but that's for you, the consumer, to decide. One thing my book may be lacking is maybe enough recipes. It's about 65 to 70 recipes right now, so potentially that needs a little bit more variety. My goal was not to put in filler recipes though. I mean, if you really need me to tell you how to make a wrap with lean meat and spinach, or how to make an egg white breakfast with salsa, we have bigger problems. But I'd be curious to hear from you. Whose cookbook do you like best? Have you purchased mine? What are your thoughts? Let's talk cookbooks in the comment section. But it's getting to be about that time. I gotta get up out of here, so I'll see you in the next one.